Chapter 43. Alyssa. "Hello, precious. It's good to finally see you," a familiar voice said. I wasn't expecting to see him here. What is he doing here? Scott? What are you doing here? How are you here? How did you get here, and why are you here? I asked him. I was still shocked that I could see someone from my ex-pack here. Why am I seeing every one of them? Or are they all escaping from Roie? If that's the case, then the situation at Dark Blue Crest is worse than I expected. "I came in search of you, Luna," he answered, and that gave me a puzzled look on my face. In search of me? But why? Why is he in search of me? Then it struck me that if Scott is here, then Peter would be here, because Scotty, like I do call him, he can't be alone without Harry or Peter with him, and if Harry is with me, then obviously Peter is somewhere around here. My eyes scanned the vicinity in search of Peter, but I couldn't find him. Luna, who are you looking for?" he asked, and my gaze returned back to him. "Where is Peter?" I asked him, but suddenly his gaze dropped, and he looked sad, which got me more confused as I stood still, waiting for him to answer me and bring me out of my curiosity. "Luna, I'm afraid to say this, but there is a bit of an ugly situation, and I'm afraid it's really bad, and bad." His eyes became watery as he answered me. "What is wrong, Scott? Are the people okay? And what damage has Roie done to the pack?" I asked him. "It's not about the pack, it's Peter. Something bad happened to him." He fumbled with his words as a drop of tears dropped down from his eyes. "Scott, seize those tears and tell me what the fuck happened to Peter." I needed to know what was wrong with him. Just like Harry, Peter was also someone who was respectful and paid homage to me. He was one of those who really respected me as a Luna, and having Scott looking at me like this means something was wrong. I knew about the feelings Scott has for Peter, and how he has to hide it deep within, not to lose the friendship he had with Peter, because Peter never dates friends. I might be a Luna, but I know a lot more about my pack members, much more than they do, and I tend not to invade their privacy, but watch from afar and see how things end. Scott sniffing his nose brought me back to reality. "I need to start from the beginning, Luna. We were sent here by Alpha Roie to go in search of you, but Peter used this as an opportunity to look for his boyfriend, and he was shocked to see you here, and also his boyfriend. He was caught by the supposed boyfriend who got him killed. I was angry at the boyfriend, and I reported everything to Alpha Roie, but I think Peter has already done—" "Hold up," I said, cutting him shut. I could feel my hands trembling and my thoughts wandering away. I was trying to believe, or make myself believe, that he didn't give Roie my location. "Did you, by any chance, give Roie my location? Like where I was? I only gave him the location that I saw you at the ball, but I think Peter gave him more details than me." With his answers, I staggered back, my hands on my baby bump. Everything I have done to hide from Roie was all fruitless, because my location has been found and reported to him. My worst nightmare. Meaning, Roie would have known who my mate is, because I remembered being locked with Maverick all through the ball, and even locking lips with him at the event, and if Roie should know about this, I would be bad, and Maverick's pack would be in trouble. "I'm sorry, Scott. Here's my number. Call me soon, but I have to leave here," I said, handing him my card before taking to my heels back to the convenience store. When I got in, Rosalin and Elissa were sitting on the chairs and waiting for me. When I walked in, gasping for breath, they both stood up and ran to meet me. "Alyssa, what's wrong?" Rosalin asked, and I shook my head, indicating nothing was wrong. "Don't lie to me, woman. What did my dumbass cousin do to you or say to you? No, you don't look too good at all, she argued. Nothing, Rose. I'm okay. Nothing is wrong, but I have to leave. Elsa, we have to go now, I said, pulling at her hands as we hurried towards my car. On our drive home, Elsa kept asking me lots of questions, but I couldn't get my head straight. Today, I have heard two things that scared me a lot. I was too scared to ask what or who killed Peter. What got me startled was the fact that Roie was in town, and he knows about me, the pup, and Maverick. What am I going to do? I didn't know I had increased my speeding limit until Elsa yelled for me to slow down. I had to apologize to her, because I wasn't ready to take someone's life. Neither was I ready to die yet. Too many thoughts still clouding my mind, I made sure to focus my eyes on the road to avoid getting into an accident. I don't want anything to happen to him or his pack, and knowing how ruthless Roie can be, things would definitely get messier and bloody. My only solution was to run away, to protect them. I have to run to fight another day, when I become stronger, and I know I can take him by myself. I will come back, but for now, protecting the people I love is my #1 priority. And also, I'm not running to hide. I'm running so that I can get to the Werewolves Council members in Japan to help me. They are the only ones that can put a chain around Roie's neck. When we got to the pack's parking lot, I turned off the car and turned my attention to Elsa. Elsa, promise me that what you saw today you will tell no one, not even Harry. Promise me, girl, I said, gripping her hands. Alyssa, I don't know what's going on here, but isn't it right for you to tell someone about it? I haven't seen you this shaken up before. You look scared, like you've seen a ghost or something. Talk to Maverick about it, and I'm sure he'll help you out. He's your mate, after all, and he'll do anything to protect you and the pup. If you're too shaken to tell him, I will help you to tell— No! I yelled. I don't want you to say anything to Maverick. I know he will do anything to protect me and the pup. That's the main reason I'm not going to tell him. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm doing it to protect him, because he and this pack mean everything to me, and I will do whatever I can to protect it. You're scaring me, Alyssa. What the fuck is going on? At least talk to me. Let me in on what's going on, and maybe I can help you in any way. Don't try to carry the burden of this pack alone. You have friends and a mate that would be able to help you, she suggested, and I smiled before letting go of her hands. It would be better if you don't know any of what is going on. You'll be safer that way. I stepped out of the car as Elsa did the same before walking to meet me. You have your problem. You go deal with that, and I will deal with mine. Remember, Elsa, no one hears of this, I said, reminding her before walking away, not wanting to hear whatever words she has next to say to me. I had to make sure she keeps her mouth shut by creating a problem for her while I deal with mine. I brought out my phone from my back pocket and sent a message to Harry. I hope this keeps them busy before I make out my escape plan. When I got to the house, Maverick wasn't at home, so I decided to prepare a meal for him. Sending the Omegas away, I decided to get busy by preparing the meal, but I had another plan on what to do and how to go about it. I was at the finishing touch of the meal when I felt his hands wrapped around my waist. I didn't hear him come in. To get my mind off things, I had to plug in my earphones and listen to some K-pop songs, just to calm my mood. Welcome back, love, I said, placing a kiss on his lips. How was work? I was kind of sad that you don't need my help again at the office, I said, pouting my lips. He knelt down to kiss my baby bump before sealing my lips with his. I didn't want to stress you. You need your rest, just like the doctor said, so I have to do all on my own, but I miss having you around. How was your staying at home today? And where are the Omegas assigned for cooking? Plus, why are you doing it yourself? He asked me, while scanning through the living room and kitchen. I sent them home. It's been a long time since I prepared something for you, so I decided to get busy. About home. I wasn't at home, and before you nagged me to death, I went out with Elissa. She was in a bit of a bad mood, so I took her for a drive. What happened to her? Is she all right? He asked, and I could see the worried expression on his face. Yeah, she's fine. Normal female anxiety, I lied. It's that time of the month, I guess. I should better stay out of this discussion. He raised his hands in surrender, and I chuckled. Go get yourself cleaned up. Dinner in 5 minutes, and don't be late, I said, and he nodded before rushing upstairs, while I set the table for dinner. When I was done, I brought out a gin bottle and a bottle of Wolfbane and set them on the table. When he came down, he was mesmerized with the aroma of the food, and then suddenly his eyes caught the bottle of gin and Wolfbane. Dear, what are those for? Drinks, I answered with a smile. Nah, I can't take that. I remember what it did to you the last time. I can't take it, he said, before settling himself on the seat. Just one glass won't do anything to me. Nope, not going to do that. So, let's eat. I'm starving. Is that your final answer? I raised an eyebrow, staring at him. Yep, final answer, he said, not glancing at me, as his attention was focused on the food on the table. I'm not hungry any longer, I said, dropping my spoon while folding my arms. Oh, come on. Don't be a big baby. I don't want to hurt you or the pup, he begged. Then he walked up to me when he saw I wasn't responding. Now, tell me what I should do to make you eat and smile again. Well, I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry for food. I slowly traced my finger on his lips, and then slowly downwards until I got to his groin region. I'm starving for it, I smiled. Are you tempting me, woman? It depends. Is it working? I asked. Hell yes. And before I could say anything further, I was lifted up into his arms while he walked up the flight of stairs. If this was going to be our last time together, I would make it memorable for both of us, that no matter what happens in the future, I will always think of the fun and crazy things we did together. I watched as he slowly stripped me of my clothes, and he did the same too, completely naked and staring at each other. He smiled, before placing a kiss on my lips, which was deepened later on, and he slowly eased himself into me. This was the greatest punishment I have ever received from him. He called it my punishment for tempting and flirting with him. It was a slow burn sex, which he took his time making sure his member touches the walls of my pussy. I couldn't count how many times I had climaxed when he fucked me, but all in all it was a pleasant and pleasurable one, and I loved every thrust he gave to me. Exhausted, we both laid on the bed, wrapped in each other's arms, when I heard my stomach groan, and Maverick chuckled. I must have worn you out to be hungry. Let's go eat some dinner, he said, handing me a robe to put on. Checking the time, it was 5 a.m. The food must have gotten cold, and I sprang up from the bed. You should relax, love. I will call you when I have heated the food up, I said, rushing out of the room. I didn't know the time was fast spent when we did it. I just wanted our last time to be good, and it was. But having spoiled food and staying this late wasn't my intention. With haste, I had to quickly prepare another meal again, but this time a much quicker food, spaghetti meatball. When I was done, I cleared the table and did the dishes, before calling him to come eat breakfast, since our energy was exhausted. We needed to replenish it. With a wide smile on his face, he began devouring the food, while I sat still, staring at him. I'm sorry, Maverick, I started. He was confused as to why I was apologizing to him, but soon he would know the reason in just a matter of a few minutes. Whatever I'm doing, please know that I'm doing it for us, and for the safety of our pack and the people here. I would rather die than allow anything to happen to you. Alyssa, What is wrong? Talk to me." His hands slammed hard on the table, and his heart rate increased. His heart was beating fast. He tried to stand up, but he crumbled to the ground. "What did you do to me? What is in the food?" he asked as he coughed out. "I'm sorry, Maverick. I love you so much," I whispered, as tears fell from my eyes. Just what did you do to me?" he roared. "My sight is blurry, Alyssa." "Shh. It's wolfbane. I used wolfbane to prepare the food. I have to do this. I'm sorry," I said, as I felt the pain a little. "I have to leave, but I promise I will be back to you," I reminded him. I was about to leave when he grabbed my hands. Please don't leave me. Please don't. Let's..." That was the last words he said before he collapsed. Checking his pulse, I saw he was breathing fine. Grabbing a few clothes into my backpack, I hurried out of the house and outside the pack's gate. I had enough money with me to get me to Japan and get everything in order. I know I have hurt Maverick and betrayed his trust, but I know one day he will forgive me, once he knows the reason I did it. Chapter 44. My journey to the Silver Crest pack wasn't as pleasant as I thought it would be, but the moment I arrived, I dived into the reason I left my pack in the first place. First, I had to pay a visit to Justin. I earlier sent Kyle to help track Justin and give him a warning, because I knew finding him won't be difficult. Kyle is the only human I kept alive that even knew about my secret. He wanted to become a werewolf because he is scared of growing old and dying. I was about to eliminate him when I found out his skills, and I knew keeping him alive would help me in so many ways, so I decided to grant him his wish, and since then he has been loyal to me and obeys my every order. "Yes, where are the jerk and my warnings?" I asked the moment he answered my call. "He is currently at home. The warnings were well delivered, and I'm sure he must be afraid of you and probably planning an escape," he answered. "Good. Go wait for me in his house. I'm on my way." With that, I ended the call before signaling the others to follow me. Using Google Map, I traced the address that was sent in by Kyle till I arrived at Justin's doorstep at exactly 4 p.m. and slightly knocked at the door. I lied that I was his neighbor and that I had something for his sister. The moment he opened the door, without wasting time, I dug my hand into his chest to the point I could feel his heart, and he coughed out blood, which made me smile. "Surprised to see me?" I asked him. I could see the pain and the surprised look on his face, which got me excited even more. Alpha, Roie, what?" he stuttered, trying to break free from my grasp. "Give me one good reason why I shouldn't rip your heart out," I asked him. I could feel his body trying to heal, but because my hand was buried deep into his chest, it was making it difficult for him to heal. I noticed he was finding it difficult to speak, and I had no choice but to free him for some time. "Now speak," I yelled at him. "I hope you have a good reason why you are in the same place with my mate, and you didn't bother to report to me that you have found her. What is your reason?" I asked aggressively. "Alpha, I wanted to monitor her more and make sure she wasn't going to leave and she was going to stay permanently. That was why I didn't report it to you. I'm sorry, Alpha." "What about Peter? Have you heard from him or seen him?" I asked, waiting for his reply. "No, I haven't seen him yet. I think he might be in some other country or state looking for Luna Elissa," he lied, and that provoked me. I wrapped my hands around his neck tightly and pushed him hard until his back was hard against the wall. One thing I hate, and what disgusts me the most, is lying. And here he is, standing in front of me, lying straight to my face. My hand tightened some more around his throat. "Liar!" I barked. You know how much I hate lies, yet still you lied to me. Tell me, why are you lying to me? My source told me you had a conversation with Peter, so what now? I'm sorry, he grunted. I shouldn't have. I lied. I was scared of telling you anything. I released my grip on his neck slowly as he tried to say something, and for me to get to hear him clearly, freeing him was my only option. Scared of what, exactly? I asked with a calm but authoritative voice. I was scared of telling you what happened. He betrayed us, Alpha. All this while he was with Luna Elissa, and I bet they must have been backstabbing you and planning ways to come for you and your pack. Is that why you killed him? I asked him, and he was startled. He wasn't expecting that I would ever find out the truth. How did you know about it? He asked me, and I played the video for him. None of your business. So, mind telling me why you ripped his heart from his chest? Who gave you the order and rights to do that? I fired. I had no choice, Alpha. I had to do it to keep my identity safe. I approached him to tell him what he was doing wasn't right, that we should report to you, but he said he had nothing to gain if he keeps being with you. He said no wonder your beta, your second chance mate, and Luna Elissa all ran away from you, because you're evil and bad. I tried to convince him to come with me, and that together we'll report to you and ask for your forgiveness, but he wouldn't budge. Rather, he said he preferred to be by the Luna side. He then asked me to join him and abandon you, but I couldn't betray your trust, Alpha, not after everything you have done for me. He paused to wipe the tears that were dripping his eyes and clean his running nose before continuing with his explanation. When I told him no, he vowed to report me to Luna Elissa and Alpha Maverick if I had allowed him to do that. All my plans would have failed. I wasn't thinking straight when I killed him. I'm sorry, Alpha. He apologized as he eventually broke down crying like a kid. You should have held him and tied him down. You should have allowed me to come give him judgment myself. You have no right to take his life, I yelled. I felt betrayed as I watched the video, but there wasn't any sound to actually tell what had happened. I felt bad that Peter could go behind me to betray me. I'm sorry, Alpha. I had no choice. Everything would have been ruined. I wasn't happy to kill him because I loved him very much. I haven't been myself, and I couldn't summon up the courage to tell you that I had killed my second half, someone who saved me and adored me and gave me nothing but love. I had to sacrifice everything just to make my Alpha happy and to bring his dreams of having his Luna and his heir beside him true. I couldn't tell you about the crimes he committed because I was too ashamed and scared that you would hate him. I'm sorry, Alpha. Please punish me for taking Peter's life. Punish me for not apprehending him and making him face judgment the hard way. He fell on his knees, holding on to my legs, sobbing continuously. My emotions weren't pity, but were filled with hatred. Thanks to Elizabeth, who is the cause of everything, I ended up losing too many good men. I can't wait to have my hands on her and rip her into pieces. Everything about her makes me want to boil her alive in hot oil and watch her skin peel off, allowing her to heal only for me to repeat the process and over again. I squat down to get to the level of how Justin was kneeling on the ground, crying. You also betrayed me, Justin, for not informing me about your location and about what his intentions were, and also for killing him without our consent. You should be dealt with and punished, but I'm giving you the last chance. Tail her and find me more information about her. I don't know what you are going to do. If you want to build a house close to the pack house, I don't fucking care. All I'm after is what she is doing and her movements. Find it, and contact me immediately. Failure to do so... He knelt still as my hand gradually went into his body. Your heart will be detached from your body the same way you killed Peter. Is that clear? I asked him, and he nodded. Use your mouth, Justin. Yes, Alpha, he stuttered, and I withdrew my hand from his chest and cleaned the blood on his shirt he was wearing. Good boy. I'll see you around. I turned around and walked out of the room. I could hear his heart beating fast, and I knew my mission was accomplished. Soon he would come crawling to me. I was angry that Peter dares betray me. For everyone who betrayed me, I won't show them any mercy. I will make sure I kill every single one of them. Kyle, put an eye on him and report back to me. Also, send out your best people to look for Harry and his family, Elizabeth and Jemiah. They each deserve to test the crimes they committed.
Chapter 45. Justin. I heaved a sigh of relief as I watched the door close behind them. I'm still alive and not dead. It made me think for a moment if this was my lucky day, or Alfarati was in a blessed and happy mood because he discovered the whereabouts of his Luna. Well, it's not my business. The only thing that's giving me joy at the moment is that I'm alive to witness another day. I stared at my open chest as it gradually closed. I hissed audibly when I saw the amount of blood on the floor. Curse you, Roddy. One day, I will take my revenge on you. I will make sure I reap your heart out. I cursed. The sound of my phone ringing jolted me from my thoughts and swear words. Checking the phone, it was my alarm reminding me that Rosalin will be back soon, and I need to clean this bloodstain from the floor and wipe out any traces of blood for her to see. I pulled off my clothes, which were now drenched in blood, and picked a nylon, which I threw the blood-stained t-shirt before heading inside to grab a mop stick and bucket. I started mopping the ground to make sure that I removed every bloodstain from the floor. I remembered what Roddy said about getting information about Alyssa. I hate to do this, especially the fact that I have marked her as mine. But if I don't, he wasn't bluffing when he said he would kill me, and before that, he might go after Rosalin to spite me. I can't allow an innocent person to get hurt, nor can I run away, because I know he has eyes everywhere, and if I escape, Rosalin might fall for the victim. I was done with cleaning, getting rid of the blood-stained clothes, taking my bath, and putting on clean and fresh clothes. I was about to leave when the door opened with a loud bang, and I was startled, thinking Roddy was back again. But instead, I was standing face to face with an angry Rosalin, who was steaming hot smoke from her face. "Justin, speak now! I have had it with the both of you!" she yelled, banging the door shut.
"Nothing is wrong, Rose. I teased her, and she flared up, that's all. End of discussion,"
I said lightheartedly. I picked up my backpack and hung it on my shoulder. I was about to leave when she jumped in front of me. Time was going fast, and I know if I don't call Roddy with information soon, I will be in trouble, and so is Rose. If only she knew I'm trying hard to protect her right now, she wouldn't be standing in my way.
"Rose, I don't have time for this. I have to be somewhere else, so move,"
I snapped. "Well, I'm less busy, and I won't leave until you tell me what is going on and what you said to her," Rose yelled at the top of her voice.
"Fine, if you're desperate to know. I told her I love her and want to date her and be with her, but she got angry and stormed out."
I hate lying to her, but keeping her in the dark from knowing werewolves exist was the best thing I could do for her. "Do you think I'm a kid?" she asked with a smirk on her face and the "I don't believe you" look.
"That's the honest truth, Rose. I'm not lying."
"Of course you are lying. You usually twitch your nose and play with your hands when you lie. I have known you like forever, and I know when you are lying or telling the truth. Besides, I know Alyssa so well for me to know that she won't be angry over trivial stuff like, I love you and let's date. So Justin comes up with something that could pass for the truth. She folded her arms on her chest, and I sighed.
Fine, Rosalin, if you're desperate, but honestly, there are so many things in this world that we would never believe that it's what our folks call a myth. But that's not important. I will protect you and keep you safe so that no one can harm you. But for now, I have to carry out orders that will keep us safe.
You're scaring me, Justin. What's going on? And who is harming you? Are you in some gang or something? She asked, and I shook my head.
Nothing of such. I guess it's better if you don't know what's going on. I have to go now.
I placed a kiss on her forehead, and I walked out, leaving her with so many questions unanswered. I stopped at the door and turned to face her.
I will get all of these sorted soon, sis. Make sure you lock the door, and don't open it for anyone claiming that they are friends with me. They are not my friends, and they can hurt you. When the time comes, I will let you into my little secret. I promise to fill you in.
After saying those words, I walked out the door, ignoring her calls. I took a cab heading to Silver Crest Pack. My life is more important right now, and there is no way to avoid what was going to happen in the future. I can't allow an innocent person who doesn't know anything about werewolves or mythical beings suffer for my crime. I arrived a few kilometers away from the pack house and paid the driver. I watched as he drove off before diverting my direction to a safe place where I kept in guard, waiting for when she would leave or when she would arrive at the house. I didn't know when I dozed off, but the sound of the gate opening got my attention. Then I saw her, Luna Alyssa, wearing a black and blue shirt and carrying a backpack on her shoulders. And I knew something must have happened, because the Maverick I know will never allow her to leave like that. I quickly brought out my phone to dial Roie's number.
I'm sorry, Alyssa. When it comes to making choices, I choose life over love, I said to myself. Yes, Justin, this better be good for you to wake me up this early in the morning, Alpha Roie barked. She is on the move, Alpha. Luna Alyssa just left the pack house, I informed him. Good. Keep tailing her and switch on your location for easy access in locating you. Good job, Justin.
Chapter 46, Third Person POV. Alyssa was about to enter the cab when she noticed someone tailing her. The person's pheromone was that of a gamma, and she froze. She was afraid that she had been spotted by Roie's men and grabbed the pepper spray from her bag to spray in the eyes of the gamma, then to take her heels and run as fast as her legs could carry her. When she turned around, she was shocked to see Justin standing in front of her. She was confused, and still not confused. She knew she perceived pheromones like that of a wolf coming out for her earlier, but she chose to ignore it, thinking it was sad her imagination. But now everything was making perfect sense. She was right all along. Her thoughts weren't playing pranks on her, but they were real and very real. But how did she not know about it all this while? Does it mean Rosalin is not human, but a werewolf who decided to hide her true identity? Little wonder she was able to give good advice and seem to come out with a solution to all her problems. You are such a dummy, Alyssa. You weren't this weak. You were quick to figure things out, but now you are nothing but a disgrace and a failure to your pup and your mate, she thought, tapping her head repeatedly. Alyssa, Justin called, walking forward to grab Alyssa's clothes, but she quickly slapped his hand off her. Get your filthy hands off of me. And it's Luna Alyssa, by the way, so don't fucking address me by my name. How long, Justin? She asked, anger building deep within her as she stared at him. I can explain, I'm sorry, Luna Alyssa. But first I need to get you and Rosalin out of here, Justin said, trying to calm Alyssa down. How long, Justin? She yelled. How long have you and your cousin been pretending that you are both humans? Rosalin doesn't know I'm a werewolf. I have been the one deceiving you both, and I'm sorry. But please, Yeah, right, Alyssa said, cutting through his words. You expect me to believe that you are a werewolf and Rosalin isn't? Fine, let's assume that I believe that Rose is human and you are a werewolf. Who turned you? Alyssa asked. Can we just skip that part and hear me out first? I'm risking my life here just to keep you safe, Justin barked. I won't repeat myself to you, Justin. Who turned you into a werewolf? Alyssa growled. Peter, he blurted. Peter? Peter? Alyssa screamed. You mean Peter of... Yes, the same Peter. Rhodey's sentinel, he concluded. And why are you here? Don't tell me Roie sent you here to find me and bring me back to him. Is that it? She asked, and his silence gave her the answers she needed. She staggered backward, unable to believe what her mind was guessing. That was the plan initially, but when I got to find out about you, I got drawn to you. Then I found out that I had feelings for you. I sacrificed a lot just to make sure that you are safe. Sacrificed for me? What could you have done for me that you think would justify your pretense and your lies? I killed my love for you. Does that justify my actions? What? Are you insane? What does killing your lover have to do with me? She asked. Everything. It has everything. He was going to sell you out to Roie. I had to silence him. I ripped out his heart just to keep you safe. What more do you want me to do for you? Kill Roie? I would be willing to try for you, to know that I'm serious about having feelings for you. Hold on. The supposed lover you are talking about, don't tell me it's... Yes, it's whoever you are thinking of. It's him. I had no choice. I did it for you. For us, he said, taking further steps closer to her. I love you, Alyssa. Right from the moment I set my eyes on you, I decided to make you mine. I hate sharing. That's why I'm going to take you and Rosalin away from here, away from that sick psycho Roie and that possessive lunatic Maverick. I'm going to keep you close to me forever. A forced blow from Alyssa sent his head tilting to the side and his lips splitting a little. A drop of blood was seen on the surface of the cut. You sick bastard! You killed an innocent being because of your selfish desires? How dare you kill someone as innocent and pure as Peter for your evil desires, you heartless monster! She screamed, her hand still clenched in a fist. Selfish desires, evil desires, he asked, licking his cut lips as a grin escaped the side of his lips. You say these hurtful and spiteful words at me when all I did was protect you from being caught or heard of. Now all I get is this? Listen, Alyssa, I will kill more people for me to get you. My name should be the only thing you scream when I make love to you, not those sick bastards. Fuck you, Justin. I will rather be skinned alive, booked alive, and be killed than have any disgusting romance with you. Your death is what I will give you in return for your evil deeds. Just then, his phone beeped, and he smiled. I could have protected you, if only you accepted me. Your wish is my command. He stopped a few inches away from her. You still have a few minutes to decide. Me or those Call Maverick a bastard one more time, and the next time you will see any blood will be my hand deep into your chest. Dare me one more time. Well, well, well. Who do we have here? Today is my lucky day. Chapter 47. Hearing from Justin that his mate has been found was like a melody to Alpha Roie's ears. It felt like he had already gotten what was once lost back to his hands again. Without wasting any more time, Roie grabbed the keys to his car while mind-linking his sentinels and gammas to come meet him outside. They all drove their cars, following Justin's location, until they arrived at the destination where Justin's location was signaling them. Roie noticed the tension going on between Alyssa and Justin. He was about to take a step towards them when the sound of Alyssa's fist connecting to Justin's face made him halt, and a grin appeared on his face. "This is the reason I like her. She doesn't take nonsense from anyone," Roie said to his sentinels and gammas. He wanted to continue boasting more about her when he heard Maverick's name coming out of Alyssa's mouth. That was the last thing he wanted to hear coming from her mouth. He clenched his hand in a fist, stepping forward, making sure to release his dominant pheromones to make her aware of his presence. He could see the shock in her eyes to see him there, and when he took a step closer to her, he could have sworn he saw her shiver in fear at the sight of him. "Well, well, well, who do we have here? Today must be my lucky day," he said with a grin on his face, and then he turned to Justin. "You did a great job, Justin. I never thought you could pull this through. You should rest, and have it in mind that you will be made a beta, my very own powerful beta," Roie bragged, and Justin quickly went on his knees in appreciation, which made Alyssa scoff, and all eyes were turned to her. "You must think he is a loyal, faithful dog, don't you?" Alyssa shook her head before fixing her eyes on Roie. "To what do I owe this surprise visit? I can't remember inviting you over." "Still the feisty one, aren't you? You haven't changed a bit, and that's one thing I love about you," Roie said, using his hands to remove the strand of hair that was falling to her face, which made Alyssa angry. She was pissed at the slight touch of Roie's hand on her face, and she took a step backward. "This should be the last time you will have your filthy hands touch my body ever again. And you still haven't answered my question. What are you doing here?" Alyssa barked at him, which only made Roie grin. "Isn't it obvious? I came to meet you and—" His eyes traveled down her body till it got to where her stomach is, and noticed the baby bump. Then he beamed. "To see my pretty pup growing inside you." He took a few steps close to her, and stopped a few inches away from her. "You should be happy to see me. This isn't the reaction I expected from you, especially since it's been months since we got separated from each other. You're supposed to be all excited to see me," Roie stated, stretching forth his hand for an embrace from Alyssa, who busted out laughing. "Did you hit your head hard on something? Or you must be going insane. I guess the answer is that I obviously think that you must have gone insane. I'm trying to see if you are okay or not. I should be happy, or rather, what did you call? Oh, all excited to see you?" She mimicked him with her 2 fingers as a gesture of mockery. If I should recall our past, someone was so eager to let me go because he found warmth in someone he knows I claim as a sister. You piece of shit. Fucking asshole. How does it feel? I mean, how does playing with the both of us feel?" she barked. "Playing the both of you? Wow. Is that what that piece of garbage told you? She obviously must have lied to you. She seduced me. Everything was because of—" "Seduced you? She was pregnant for you. She was carrying your pup, and you made her terminate it," Alyssa barked. "That pup was never meant to be, Alyssa. Elizabeth and I were never meant to be together. You were the one that I want, and I need you," Roie said, trying to confront her. "We are not meant to be either, and least you forgot, you rejected me, and now I have someone, a second chance mate." She took a step closer to him, revealing the mating mark of Maverick on her neck. "This is my mate's mark, and he is 10 times a better mate than you will ever be." Enough, Roie yelled. His eyes were all red with rage. Then suddenly, he noticed he had struck Alyssa's face and her lip had split. He could see blood coming out of the split lips, and his expression changed immediately. I'm sorry, Elsa. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. I was angry. I'm sorry. Please. This is the reason why I said he is a better mate than you can ever be, Alyssa said, licking her bloodied lips. This will be the last time you will ever lay your filthy hands on me. The next time you do this, I will make you regret your decisions. If you are done spewing nonsense, then this conversation is over. She was about to leave when Roie pulled her back by her hands. And where do you think you're going? Asked Roie. Where else do you think I'm going to? To my mate, of course, Alyssa answered sarcastically. You are bluffing. You're coming with me. I will allow no bastard to take care of my pup and heir, Roie roared as he glared at her. The moment you rejected me, this pup ceased to be yours. I'd rather you kill me than for me to follow you back to your pack. Don't test my patience, woman. He turned his gaze away from her to his sentinels. Grab her and put her in my car, Roie ordered. Alyssa watched as they approached her at a fast pace. She knew if they succeeded in taking her, Maverick wouldn't know what happened to her. He would think she ran away from him. She wasn't ready to allow herself to be dragged back to Roie's pack. That was the last place she wanted to be. She slowly took some steps backward. A loud horn from a truck coming at a fast pace, too fast for the driver to step on the truck's brake pedal and pull it to a halt. Alyssa, watch out! Both Roie and Justin yelled, but it was too late. Alyssa was already on the ground, lying in a pool of her own blood, and unknown to them, someone was watching the incident. Chapter 48. Elizabeth. I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have seen what I just saw. How the fuck am I going to get this memory out of my head? Alyssa, in a pool of her own blood, and Roie watching her bloodied body. I should have run over to help her, but I was too damn feeble-minded to do anything, knowing I'm on Roie's wanted list. If I should take a step forward or be seen by him, I would be killed immediately. I tried moving my legs forward, but I was stuck, and all I could do was turn around and run. I ran, faster than my legs could carry me. I need to get the fuck away from this city. I need to get the fuck away from here. I'm not safe anymore. If Roie can find Alyssa and make her kill herself, then who am I? I'll get slaughtered before anything else. I kept looking behind as I ran to see if I was being followed, and when I was sure the coast was clear, I quickly took a cab back to the hotel room. I couldn't remember what exactly I was planning to get that made me go to the location, but I remembered I was trying to sort things out on how to make peace with Alyssa. I met Jemiah watering the flowers, and without minding if the hose can fall on the ground or anything can be destroyed, I grabbed hold of his hand and ran inside the house, locking the door behind us. I paused for a while, gasping for air. "What's wrong, Lizzie?" Jemiah asked, but my hands were up, indicating he should hold on while I catch my breath. "Get your things. Let's leave," I finally said after a short while, but I was greeted with a surprising look on Jemiah's face. "What?" I asked him. "Are you back again with that same talk about us leaving because Alyssa is going to take revenge on you, blah, blah, blah? I have told you times without number that Alyssa is no longer angry with you. She has forgiven you. But, what happened that got you all spiked up?" he asked, and I shook my head without saying anything. "Speak up, woman." I saw Alyssa." "That's great. Did you have a conversation with her? Dead, I blurted out. I watched her get hit by a truck, and she was in her own pool of blood, I explained, pacing around the living room. Wait, what? And you ran home instead of running over to help her or calling an ambulance? I thought you said she was your sister. How could you be this heartless? What do you expect me to do? She was with Roie. She didn't want to be taken back to his pack, so she allowed herself to get hit by the truck, because the Alyssa I know would have averted it. What do you expect me to do? Run in there and get myself killed? I'm too precious to die soon, I argued. Wait, Roie is in town and he has Alyssa? What are we doing here? We should be going to Maverick. You should have gone there instead of coming home to me, Jemiah, who was already headed towards the door, exclaimed, but I ran to stand in front of the door. This isn't our fight. This is between her and Roie. She will find a way to come out of it. Let's just leave. Please, I pleaded with him. Thanks to Alyssa, we have a roof over our head and a place to call home. Is this how you are going to repay her? He asked. No, but this is the best. We only fight when it's our fight. Jemiah, let's just pretend I saw nothing, and let's be together. Besides, you haven't touched me since we found out that we're mates, and you haven't marked me. Let's ignore this and mate, have sex, and be together forever, I suggested, caressing his body. But he pushed me off. I'm going to Silver Crest pack now, and when I come back, I will think about our mating bond, and if we are still going to be compatible with each other. In the meantime, stay here and think about what you've done. Without saying another word, he was out of the house, leaving me alone to think about the mistakes I have made.
Chapter 49. Alpha Maverick. I found myself in the woods again, and it was dark. I could hear the sounds of feet running, twigs breaking, branches falling, birds chirping, and the crickets also. I heard someone panting and raised my head. To my surprise, it was Alyssa. She was running and was chased by some people in black clothes, but I couldn't see their faces. I took to my heels, chasing after them. Each time I thought I was getting closer to them, they seemed to be getting further away from me, and it was confusing and frustrating. All of a sudden, Alyssa fell, and she was looking at me with her face and hands all bloodied. She stretched her hand towards me. "Please save me, Maverick. Save my pup. Please, don't let him get her," Alyssa pleaded. Turning her gaze to the men who were chasing her, the leader of the group of men walked towards her, and suddenly a silver sword appeared in his hand. I could perceive the smell of wolfsbane coming out from the sword.
No, don't touch her, or I will fucking kill you if you do. That's my mate. Touch a strand of her hair, and I will make sure I carve out your hearts,
I yelled at the top of my voice, but neither of them could hear me. I kept running towards them, but it seems I was running on the same spot just like before without moving. And with a swing of his sword, her lifeless body lay still on the ground. Alyssa was on the ground, cold, and her eyes staring at me with pain and guilt.
No!
I screamed out of my sleep. I was drenched in my pool of sweat. The dream seemed so real, and this was the second time I was having the same dream. Why am I dreaming about someone hurting my mate? Who were the men chasing after her? And why couldn't I protect her from being killed? I felt troubled thinking about it, when suddenly I felt my body heavy, and I felt this huge pain, like a part of me was slowly dying, and I couldn't do anything. I could feel my life slowly draining out of me. I felt like I was bleeding, but I wasn't. I tried figuring out what was wrong with me, when all of a sudden, I heard a soft voice of someone in danger, a soft plea. "Save us, Maverick, please!" I jolted up, and that voice seemed familiar. That voice was like the voice of Alyssa's wolf. How was she communicating within Alyssa's stead? All of a sudden, everything came rushing through my mind. Alyssa laced my food with wolfsbane and was apologizing to me. I got up from the bed as I ran through the house searching for Alyssa, but she was nowhere to be found. Then it dawned on me that Alyssa was in trouble and needed me. I mind-linked my sentinels, gammas, deltas, and all the betas present to come to my house. "The Luna is missing, and I fear she is in danger. I want everyone to look for her, and for the betas and sentinels, arm yourself, and protect the mothers and children. I fear whatever your Luna was scared of is around, and I perceive trouble. She is trying to protect us, and I believe we are to protect her too. And as for the rest," he said, pointing to the gammas and deltas, "find her and protect her at all cost." With that, I hurried out of their presence. I summoned Lorenzo to come meet me at the pack's office. "Alpha, you summoned me. What's wrong?" asked Lorenzo the moment he opened the door. "The worst has happened. Alyssa left me. She poisoned me." "She did what?" Lorenzo yelled. "It's not what you are thinking, Lorenzo," I tried explaining to him. "She poisoned you. That's treason to our pack, and you know the punishment that comes with it. The penalty is death," Lorenzo said, reminding me of the rules of the pack I already knew. His voice and everything that has to do with hurting Alyssa irritated me. I clenched my hand in a fist as I stared at him. Axel was getting pissed too, and if I should allow him access to my body, Lorenzo's head will be detached from his body, and I will hate to lose someone precious to me because of this. "Enough!" I yelled, slamming my hands on the table at the same time. "She didn't do it because she wanted to kill me. She did it because she was scared that whatever is after her would hurt me and my people. She did it to avoid the bloodshed of innocent people." "How did you know about that? How did you know she wasn't after your life in the first place? You shouldn't trust her like that, even if she is your mate." "I can't believe you're saying this now. She is my mate, and I trust her with my life. She wouldn't do anything to hurt me or my pack. Besides, why will she do it when her trusted friend Harry is here? She wouldn't put him and his pups in harm's way. Something happened, and I must find out what happened. I need Harry to explain things to me." Just then, a knock was heard on my door, and I commanded whoever it was to come in. And Omega's face popped in before his entire body. "Yes, Tyros. What can I do for you?" I asked him. "A beta is here to see you. He said his name is Jemiah. He also said it must be about Luna Alyssa," Omega Tyros said. "What are you waiting for? Go bring him in this instant!" I yelled at him. Deep down, I hope he brought good news to me. Jemiah. I can't believe her. I can't believe that Elizabeth could be this heartless. Sometimes I wonder how she managed to be my mate, but the bond and the love I have for her is so difficult for me to let go of her or reject her. I have waited so long to have her, and now I do. I don't want to let go no matter what happens, and no matter how much she pisses me off. I just want to be the one she would lean on when she is sad, the one that would protect her when she is in danger, and the one that would cherish and love her till the world ends. I felt bad leaving her alone in the house, but I needed her to sit down and reflect on what she had done and what her crime was. How could she allow someone she claims to cherish to be in danger without her looking for ways to help her? The drive to Silver Crest Pack was a quiet one, as my thoughts were preoccupied with how badly Alyssa would be and why she had to sacrifice herself just to keep her new mate, herself, and his family safe. That's one thing I love and respect about Luna Alyssa. She is someone that puts family first before herself. She'd rather risk her life for others to protect her family. And right now, I knew that was the reason why she left the pack. She must have known that Alpha Roddy was around, and in order not to hurt Alpha Maverick's family and the pack, she had to run away. But I know she knows that Alpha Maverick would be able to fight for her and win the war. But another part understands why she has to run away. A tap on my shoulder jolted me off from my thoughts, and I noticed the taxi driver smiling at me.
"We've gotten to your destination, and that's $150,
he informed me. Thanking him, I brought out the money from my wallet and handed him the notes. I alighted from the car and walked along the path to the pack's gate. When I got to the main entrance, I stated the code Alyssa gave to us, and the huge gate was opened, and I walked in. Soon, I was surrounded by Delta Wolves, and soon, after much negotiations with them and stating my purpose, I was escorted to Alpha Maverick's office, where an Omega had to announce my arrival to him, and soon I was ushered in to face Alpha Maverick, and a guy was with him. Judging from his pheromones, he's a beta wolf.
"What brings you here, Jemiah? And I heard you have important information about my mate. Go on, I'm all ears."
Alpha Maverick spoke. I knew if I told him about Elizabeth knowing and not coming to inform him, it might put her in trouble. She might be banished, or worse still, killed. I have to take the blame to make sure she is safe, and being here reporting myself, I won't be in danger.
"It's about Luna Alyssa,"
I stammered.
"Yeah, I know it's about my mate. So go ahead and tell me,"
Alpha Maverick said, his voice sounding anxious and eager to know what I have to say.
She was involved in, her.
Just then, he hushed me with his hands as his phone rang. I could hear a woman's voice in the background. She was breathing heavily. Her voice sounded like she saw something she wasn't meant to. Her voice was shaken, and I could feel the fear coming out from her voice.
He's a wolf."
Chapter 50. Rosalin. I watched as he stormed out of the house without giving me the answers that I needed. Justin has been acting strange lately, starting from the first time he set his eyes on Alyssa. I knew it was love at first sight, but the Justin I know isn't the type that goes after other people's women. This time it was different. I was seeing a different, new type of Justin I haven't seen before. He now has anger issues, and most times to calm himself down he has to break things. I've lost count of how many times I have replaced the television or gotten a new set of plates and cups. Most times I've tried to sit him down to talk to him, but it seems no matter how hard I try, there is a barrier shielding him from my reach. It felt like I was talking to a molded statue. I tried reaching out to him, but all attempts failed. Just like today, I was left alone with no answers to my many questions. But today was different. There was this talk of him protecting me from harm's way, like I was in danger or something. What's with the folktale and things I don't know of what's happening around me? What gibberish was he saying? Confusing me the most and making my brain go numb. I needed to find out more information about the unforeseen things he was talking about. I wanted to find out more about him and what he's hiding from me. I waited for an hour before entering his room. I started my search work, hoping to find a clue that will tell me or explain to me why he is like this, but I found nothing, just some photo albums. I wanted to leave, but something told me to glance through the album, which I did, and it was just him and some random guy. Then I saw him and a wolf. Silly. All those times you went missing and got me scared, you were touring around and visiting the zoo while I was worried to death, I said out loud to no one in particular. I kept looking at the pictures, and the next thing I saw got me shocked. It was a picture of Justin and the random guy kissing. I didn't picture Justin as gay. Seeing him kissing a random dude I know nothing about startled me. If he is gay, then why is he after Alyssa? Why is he having feelings for her? Wait a minute, does that mean Justin is bisexual? Is that the reason he's been cranking up and acting all distant, cold, and having continuous pent-up anger? So, it's because he is bisexual and couldn't determine his sex? He should have told me that he was into guys and girls. Then maybe we could have looked for ways to help him to accept it, instead of him giving me those attitudes. Besides, it wasn't bad for someone to be bisexual, and I will totally support him. I'm going to sit his ass down and tell him I know his secret. I am happy that I've gotten a little closer to him, and that by knowing this, we'll both bond very well and get to not have secrets between us again. I was about to leave his room when something caught my attention. There was a blood stain on the doorknob leading to the bathroom. I felt my heart beating fast as I walked closer to the bathroom door to take a closer look. Part of me was telling me to leave and pretend I didn't see anything, while the other part of me wanted to know what was inside the bathroom and if it was real blood or some joke he was trying to play on me. I walked slowly towards the door and slightly opened it. Peeping my head into the door, I saw nothing inside the bathroom, just a bucket in the middle of the bathroom. I heaved a sigh of relief that what my mind was playing at wasn't what it was. I took some steps closer to the bucket, and I screamed when I saw blood on the t-shirt he wore that morning. So many thoughts kept flashing to my mind that Justin must have killed someone, or one of those people that have gone missing for years. Who have I been living with? A serial killer or something? With my trembling hands, I lifted the shirt and found a hole close to the chest region. So many thoughts flashed through my mind again. Is this really Justin? Or something is happening around here that I know nothing about? He is hiding so many secrets that I've become scared of him. Is he the same Justin I know, or is he an imposter that has the same face as Justin? If this is an imposter, then where is the real Justin? I couldn't think of anything else. My mind was clouded with things about Justin. I didn't know how long I must have been lost in thoughts when I heard the front door lock. I quickly raced to my room and lay on my bed, pretending to be fast asleep. I shouldn't trust this person or go near him, but at the same time I wanted to know who I have been living with. I heard the sound of the fridge opening, and then I heard him crying out loud. His phone rang, and though I couldn't hear who he was talking to, the more he spoke with the person, the more his crying increased. I heard the crashing sound of things, and I knew he was at it again. I tried lessening the noise by covering my ears, but each time he broke something my body trembles, scared that I would be the next thing he breaks. I heard the back door open, and I quickly got up, making sure I wasn't heard by him. I tiptoed my way towards the back door, though it was dark, but the little light that kept going off and on was reflecting light in the narrow path leading to the little woods behind my house. I have always told Justin to fix the light, but I guess due to his busy schedule he must have forgotten about it. but thanks to the little light and the full moon, which was shining at its peak, I could see the backyard clearly. I saw Justin removing his clothes, and just then I heard his bones cracking, and right before my eyes, Justin turned into a werewolf. A wolf! A fucking wolf! I almost screamed. I guess my hands were faster than my mouth. My hands were on my mouth before I could scream. I staggered backward, too shocked to explain what I saw. My hands and feet were trembling. I couldn't believe it was real. What I usually see in movies is real, and Justin is a werewolf. I have been living with a mystical being all my life. I dashed straight to my room, locking the doors. Who am I kidding? Their strengths are way stronger than the door, and they can rip it off the hinge without applying force. I decided to add more weight to the door. I started by shifting the sofa in my room to the door before using my last strength to push the bed towards the door, before crumbling down at the far corner of my room, trembling in fear. I didn't know who to call or what to do. I was helpless in this situation. Am I going to die? Would he charge after me and rip my heart out? That explains why there was blood in his bathroom. He must have killed someone that knew his secret. Oh, damn, I'm next. He's going to kill me. What am I going to do? I kept asking myself, while using my hand to hit my forehead. Just then, Alyssa's name popped up in my mind, and with trembling hands, I quickly picked up my phone and dialed her number. I tried like 10 times, but her number wasn't connecting. Damn! Alyssa, where are you when I need you? Please, connect! At the 15th trial, I gave up and decided to call the only person close to Alyssa, which was Maverick. On the second ring, he answered the call. "Hello?" came his voice. Maverick, please help me," I said with my trembling voice. "What's wrong, Rose? Slow down and talk to me." "He's a wolf." "Rose, calm down. What are you saying? Who is a wolf?" he asked. "Justin. He's a wolf. I saw him transform into a wolf, and he's running around my backyard," I informed him. Just then, I heard a loud bang on my door, and I screamed while throwing the phone away, clenching my legs to my chest. The last thing I heard from Maverick was, "Hold on tight. I'll be there," before he disconnected the call. "Please come fast. My life depends on you," I whispered, trying to block the banging of my door and blocking out his voice as he called out to me. Justin. I watched as Alyssa got hit by a truck. I watched as she fell hard on the ground and blood came gushing out from her mouth, eyes, nose, and ears. She must have broken something from the fall because the blood was everywhere, and she wasn't moving. She just laid there, lifeless. Alpha Roie staggered towards her and bent down to her level. He held her close to his chest, screaming in pain. I didn't understand why he was crying when all he did to her was pure evil, and their bond disconnected, so what's special about her? Just then, he turned around to stare at me. "You can go home. I will give you a call when you are needed at the pack," he instructed me, before carrying the lifeless body of Alyssa in his hand. I couldn't get close to her. I tried listening to her heartbeat, but I couldn't hear anything. Is she dead, just like that? That wasn't the strong-willed Alyssa I met and fell in love with. This Alyssa I was seeing lying on Alpha Roie's hands was weak, too weak to be called my Alyssa. I was escorted into the car that would take me to where I was staying. I wanted to ask Alpha Roie some questions about her, but I was scared that I would lose my life. So instead, I remained mute. The drive back to my place where I was living was a quiet one, and when we arrived at my place, it was already night. "Here you go. We're at your place," Timothy, one of Alpha Roie's sentinels, announced, bringing me out of my thoughts. "Thank you, Tim," I responded. I was about to open the car door when I paused. At least he was close to Alpha Roie, so he could tell me if she's alive or not. "Tim, can I ask you a question?" "Yeah, sure. Anything for our newest beta," he answered with a smile on his face. "The Luna. Is she alive?" I asked, and I saw his face drop down before shaking his head. "I couldn't hear her heartbeat. It was damn silent in there. She's gone. Our precious Luna we all loved is no more." He broke down in tears, and I couldn't control mine anymore as they came running down. I bid him good night before entering my home. It was dark inside, meaning Rosalin was already fast asleep, and I didn't want to wake her up. I just needed to run. Let my wolf loose and fill my head with thoughts that would distract me away from Alyssa. I walked towards the fridge to grab some water when my phone rang, and it was Alpha Roie. Without wasting time, I quickly answered the phone. "Alpha." "Are you home now, Justin?" he asked. "Yes, Alpha. I was about to go for a run. Today was a hell of stressful for me." I shared it with him. "That's true. You did a good job locating her, but it was all wasted. Come to the pack on Monday next week, and you will be crowned a beta to my pack." Without waiting for my reply, he ended the call. With a loud scream, I cried out as more tears cascaded down my eyes. It was all wasted, kept replaying in my head. If I hadn't shown that bastard where she was, and if that bastard hadn't arrived there, she would have been alive, and she would have been mine. I couldn't control myself anymore. Soon I started throwing objects away, and they shattered into different pieces as they hit the ground. I could feel my wolf surfacing. My paws were showing, and I knew if I had to morph into my wolf inside, then Rosalin would know that I'm not human, and I have to change her or silence her. I staggered towards the direction of the back door. When I was outside, I pulled off my clothes before morphing into my wolf and took to my heels. I hadn't run up to 15 minutes when Rosalin's heart was beating very fast. Her heart was beating faster than normal, and immediately my wolf senses told me that she might likely be in danger. I hurried back to the house. When I got to the door, I was about to open it when I heard her voice. She was on the call, and she was obviously reporting me to someone that I was a werewolf. She knew. How the fuck did she know? Damn! I was so careless that I made her know the secrets I have been keeping for months. Putting back my clothes on, I hurried towards her room. I tried opening it, but it was locked from the inside. I'd better get to her fast and explain things to her. I banged hard on the door, and it only resulted in screams from her. And the last thing I heard on the phone was a familiar voice telling her to hold still, that he was on his way. That was Maverick's voice, and I smirked hard. Too bad she doesn't know who Maverick is. Soon all the secrets will be exposed, but for now, I have to get her before Maverick comes. I have to explain that I had no choice but to become a werewolf for me to stay alive. "Rose, please open the door. I promise not to hurt you. I just want to talk," I begged her with a calm voice, but I was met with silence. "Rosalin, please. I won't hurt you. If I wanted to, I would have done that a long time ago." "Leave me alone, Justin," I heard her say it finally, but her voice was filled with fright. She's terrified of me. "I just want to talk to you and explain things to you," I pleaded. "Leave. Maverick is on his way, and I bet he is coming with cops. You should leave," I heard her, and I only busted out laughing. Maverick, 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 do you know who Maverick is, that you're putting so much faith in him? Or do you know who your best friend Elissa is, that you trust so much and accommodated her? Do you?" I yelled, finally losing my cool, which only made her whimper. "I'm sorry, Rose, I shouldn't have yelled at you, but I hate it when you trust other people over me. I'm the only one you should trust, especially when you don't know who you're relying on or dealing with, and what they really are. I know what they are. They are humans, and you are nothing but a monster, she replied, and I laughed. Monster? I'm more human than those two. Well, if you want to know, I won't mind letting you in on the secrets, and I could even prove it to you with some pictures. Maverick and Alyssa are just like... I wasn't able to finish my statement when a strong pair of hands grabbed my neck tightly, which was restricting my airflow, and I was met with 2 pairs of eyes that were burning red. We need to talk. That was the last thing I remembered before accepting the darkness that took hold of me.